You guys ready? All right. 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide. You come up here. Presenters, please look at the screen here. Try not to turn your head because you will move from the mic, but we have a nice screen here. James Collier, come on up.
Wow, this is a little different than doing it at Starline. All right, so I know what you're thinking. This guy looks really good in flannel. And you're probably also thinking that this is quickly going into the tasteless category. This is for my birthday a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the same shirt, but I have a whole arsenal of them. We did a whole flannel-themed party. All right, so I like flannel. I'm not actually going to talk about that anymore, because the other thing that I happen to really like that you may not know is food. And I don't like to just eat it. I like to tell everyone what I'm eating. So this was dinner last night, thanks to my wife. It was an omelet with goat cheese and spinach. Yeah. All right, so I was digging through some photos for this and realized that I've been taking pictures of food for quite a while. I took this a few years ago and I thought it was really artsy at the time. It's artichokes. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not just going to tell you what the pictures are of. I thought I'd share with you all just a little bit about something I've been thinking about lately, and it's kind of lame, but my food journey, and I have to put it in quotation marks. Actually, first I have to describe what this is, because this is the worst photo in the slide, but it's one of the tastiest. It won't look like it. But I grew up on meals like this. I'm from Louisiana originally. I had to balance it out with something fresh, but that was fried squirrel, and rice and gravy and fried venison. And that's a balanced meal in my family. So I grew up eating stuff like that, and I love the flavor, but I got into college and realized that I could cook on my own, so I started trying to cook different things and explore. Who doesn't love cookies? So I started trying to explore food on my own, and thank God for the Food Network. I don't watch it much now, but I did in college and started trying to play around with different recipes. And so I thank my dad for teaching me how to cook, but I thank Food Network for at least getting me out and trying to explore. This is the first of 2 taco pictures because I eat a lot of tacos, thanks to Mike Oz, who I don't think is here tonight. So I moved out to California like 6 years ago and quickly fell in love with the food out here. Tacos being one of the discoveries, because I grew up with them in the hard shell with the ground beef. But I had to throw a picture of Kim in here because this whole thing in the last 6 weeks about kind of finding a food journey and my own food voice has really been a way for us to kind of explore this together. So this was at Tommy's Burgers down here on the mall. So Kim also likes to eat with me. I inherit the weight. So I started this blog. I have a few blogs, but I started one last month called Foie, Gras, and Flannel, and it's just a whole play on the niceties of life and the simple things like flannel. And about the same time, Kim started cooking a bit more. So that was not only homemade lemon marmalade, that was actually homemade English muffins too. This is the spicy turkey sandwich over at Charlotte's, and it's awesome. But here's the thing. So I've been talking to people about food since I moved here, and you might have seen one of my creations called Taste Fresno. Go from Thursdays over by the library. There's a downtown picnic that goes on, and there's a guy that sells these out of a cart. They're awesome. But I've been talking to people about food, and for 6 years now, and one thing that I find is that people often find it very, very intimidating. So they don't necessarily try a lot of new things. They're either afraid to try a new recipe, or they're kind of scared to go out and try a new place. And the only thing when it comes to food that I'm really afraid of is mayonnaise. So if it doesn't have mayonnaise, I'll eat it. So I'm kind of exploring this because I'm like, all right, we got all this great food and flavor around here. Maybe if I go out and take some photos and just kind of nudge people, they'll come out with me. These are from 2 weekend retreats in a row. This French onion soup was from up at Tenaya at one of the restaurants there, and then that's beef salad was from a Thai restaurant in Pasadena. Pasadena is also really good for food. I made that. I was really proud. It kind of looks like baby food up here, but I like recipes when I cook myself for things that really highlight just the flavors of one seasonal element. I also like things that take like 8 hours to stew together, but yeah. Actually, speaking of which, I didn't make this. So this is gumbo from a Gras celebration a couple of weeks ago. And here's the cool thing: when you talk about food a lot, oh, there's a whole lot of people over here. When you talk about food a lot, other people like to talk about food with you. And so we've gotten to know a little bit the person who started Food Porn Daily, and she made that dish, which is a real treat. I also like to splurge every once in a while. This was a filet from Trelio during their brown bag dinner from, I guess, last week. And I literally cut it with my fork. But what wasn't pictured here was the duck and roasted beet that they gave us beforehand, and that was even better. And if you haven't noticed, I kind of did a progression of the food here. So now we're on to dessert. Another one of Kim's recent creations, maple bacon cinnamon rolls. And I probably gained 5 pounds just from smelling them, but it was worth it. And that's the great thing about flannel, is it hides it. More bacon. This came from Steven Sanchez, who I don't think is here, but he was actually my first intern when I started up Paprika Studios, right down the street here. And he made us a bacon apple pie, and there was an entire pound of bacon in that pie. Yeah, this one, like, I'm just drooling looking at that picture again. So this is like a flourless chocolate torte, also from Trelio, and it's like the epitome of sex on a plate. Like that's what that is. Yeah. So anyway, if you like food and like to discover things, if you can know how to spell it, foie gras and flannel.com is the new blog. But if you're somebody who likes to eat and wants to talk a little bit more about it, I also threw in a little plug for Taste Fresno. We would welcome additional voices join the conversation. And that, I am done.